Hello everyone. Today we're diving into the GDPR, the General Data Protection Regulation, and the concept of privacy by design. These principles are vital for businesses in ensuring data protection and compliance. We'll also highlight some common pitfalls organizations fall into when navigating these complex requirements. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear understanding of the GDPR, how privacy by design helps organizations to stay compliant, and what mistakes you'll want to avoid. The GDPR came into effect on May 25th, 2018, and is the most comprehensive privacy law in the world. It applies to any organization that processes the personal data of EU citizens, no matter where the company is based. The GDPR is built around several key principles: lawfulness, fairness, and transparency. Organizations must process data in a legal, fair, and transparent manner. Purpose limitation. Data must be collected for a specific legitimate purpose. Data minimization. Only necessary data should be processed. Accuracy. Organizations must keep data accurate and up to date. Storage limitation. Data shouldn't be kept longer than necessary or legally required. Integrity and confidentiality. Data must be protected against unauthorized access or breaches. Accountability. Organizations must be able to demonstrate compliance with all these principles. Now let's talk about privacy by design, a concept that's central to GDPR compliance. It means that privacy and data protection should be built into systems from the very beginning, not as an afterthought. Privacy by design is based on 7 key principles. First, proactive, not reactive. Privacy issues should be anticipated and prevented. Privacy as the default setting. Personal data should be automatically protected without requiring user action. Privacy embedded into design. Data protection should be a core function of the system. Full functionality, positive sum. Both privacy and functionality should be achieved, not one at the expense of the other. End-to-end security. Data protection must be ensured throughout the entire data lifecycle. Visibility and transparency. Processing should be open and verifiable. Respect for user privacy, user-friendly, strong privacy practices should be the default. This means that organizations must think about data protection from the very first steps of system design. Whether it's a mobile app, a website, or an internal database, the architecture should be built with GDPR requirements in mind. Privacy by design isn't just best practice, it's a requirement under GDPR. Article 25 of the regulation specifically calls for data protection by design and by default. This ensures that privacy is a core consideration, not just an afterthought to fix later. By following privacy by design principles, organizations can meet their GDPR obligations more easily. It helps minimize the risk of data breaches, ensures that user rights are respected, and avoids costly fines for non-compliance. Even with privacy by design, there are still common pitfalls that businesses face when trying to comply with the GDPR. Let's go over some of these. First, failing to obtain valid consent. One of the biggest challenges is getting proper consent from users. The GDPR requires that consent is informed, specific, and revocable. Many companies use vague language or pre-ticked boxes which don't meet the standards. Data minimization errors. Organizations often collect more data than necessary, which violates the data minimization principle. Only collect what you absolutely need. Inadequate data breach response. Under the GDPR, companies must notify regulators within 72 hours of discovering a data breach. Failing to have a proper breach response plan in place can lead to significant penalties. Not appointing a DPO, so a data protection officer. Certain companies are required to appoint a DPO under the GDPR, particularly those involved in large-scale data processing or monitoring. Many businesses overlook this requirement. If your company uses third-party vendors to process data, you are still responsible for ensuring they comply with GDPR. Failing to perform due diligence can result in breaches that impact your organization. So how can businesses implement privacy by design effectively? Let's break it down step by step. First, start with a DPIA, so a Data Protection Impact Assessment. A DPIA helps identify risks to privacy early in the design process. It's mandatory for certain types of processing, especially if the data could affect individual rights and freedoms. Next, integrate privacy features from the start. This could involve anonymizing data, using encryption, or ensuring that user data is minimized at every step. Appoint a DPO, so a data protection officer. For companies that process large amounts of sensitive data, a DPO can guide compliance and oversee the implementations of privacy by design. Regularly audit your systems. GDPR compliance is not a one-time task. You should continually monitor your systems, ensuring that they meet evolving privacy requirements and you can follow the PCDA framework. GDPR violations can be costly. Fines can reach up to 20 million euros or 4% of a company's global annual revenue, whichever is higher. Major tech companies like Google and Facebook have already faced multi-million-dollar fines for non-compliance. But beyond fines, the reputational damage can be just as severe. Consumers are increasingly concerned about how their data is used, and a GDPR breach can result in a loss of trust that's difficult to recover from. Privacy by design is not just about complying with the law, it's about respecting the privacy of your users and building trust. As privacy concerns continue to grow, companies that prioritize data protection will have a competitive advantage in the marketplace. By embedding privacy into your business processes from the start, you will avoid the pitfalls of GDPR non-compliance and position yourself as a leader in data protection. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more privacy and cybersecurity insights. Stay tuned for more in-depth content on the GDPR and data protection on this channel. And I'll see you in the next video.